What we're just going to talk about today is just like developing some force from our feet. Best thing is to start here. So we've talked about already our movement left and right and back and forth where we should have our hands. So when I develop force in my shots, where I'm going from, where I'm developing the force from is from my legs. So everything I'm getting is like driving from my feet. A common mistake people make when they do this is they tend to just turn their foot and throw the shot. The problem with that being is that when my foot just turns, it's literally just like my shoulder throwing a punch, which can be quite hard depending on how strong you are. But we want to try and eliminate as much strength as possible and try and like get as much force out of the technique as you can. So what I do is I push the ball of my foot into the ground, and it's like I'm trying to drive the world away. So driving my foot, then I transition that force through my hips and then up into my shoulders and up my arm out. So I'm transitioning all the force from my foot all the way to the point of my fist. So I'm like here and back. So it's that nice smooth shot without me having to put very much effort into it. So I'm back. Alright? When I do it, when I land, I want my punch to be, I want the full extension of my arm. And when I land, this is the position I'm in. So if my hand isn't touching my face, my shoulder is. Alright, so I'm starting here, and then I pull back with my hip. So whip my hip back, pulling my arm back into position. So I'm turning from here, it's a nice smooth shot, transitioning the force from my feet, through my hips, into my legs. So what will kind of look like is like this turn through and coming back. The force is transitioning through this leg. If you keep this leg locked and you don't move it, my force application will stop here. So I'll get a lot of force, but I won't get as much as if I let it flow through both hips. Alright? It's a nice smooth motion. The head stays here, come pull back. So it's basically the same for every punch. Once you're driving through, you're turning, you're driving, it's like you're trying to force the world away. Alright? Chin stays tucked in. Don't be tempted to admire your handiwork. Don't be like, boom, because you stick your head up in the air, you get popped, and that's it. Chin down, turn, pull back, move on. Alright? Don't worry about it. You can admire it on camera later on. That's basically it. We'll work. So nice and smooth. So this push and this force generation develops from here. I'm turning along my center line. So we talked about center line briefly before. The center line travels from the top of my head all the way down the middle of my body, cutting me in half. So I'm rotating across that. Once you start to lean out off that center line, you're going to lose force. So like as I turn here, my center line is still directly over my hips. So when I start to push over, this force from like a left hook or whatever I'm going to throw will get generated and turned back across. And while I'm moving my center line, it's still maintaining over my hips. I'm not leaning out. Once I lean out over my hips, I lose the ability to try and regenerate force, puts me on balance, leaving me more vulnerable. So like what we're looking at all the time, and like what I tell my fighters is, you're always ready to like hit somebody or get hit. So you're always on point, always ready to go. If there's a point like 100th of a second where you're not ready, that's the thing where the open's going to come, you're going to miss it, and that's going to be it. All right, so we're just going to leave there. We'll talk a bit more about that next week. All right, thanks guys.